If I had to narrow core strengthening down to only 3 exercises, these are the ones that I would pick. When I talk about core strength, I like to compare it to building a strong house. We want 4 sturdy walls built on a nice strong foundation. Therefore, when I think about core exercises, I want one exercise that's going to build the muscles here in the front, another one for the muscles on the side, and then another one for the muscles right here in the back. But just like our house analogy, I feel like I'd do you a disservice if I left out one very important piece. It's this foundation that sits underneath our core. So I've got a bonus exercise for you at the end. Be sure to watch this video. Be sure to check that one out. Also, I've got beginner, intermediate, and advanced versions of each of these exercises, so you're sure to find something that meets your specific needs. Let's start with one of my favorite exercises for the anterior core. This is a great way to kick on the deep core muscles as well. This is going to be a plank progression. The beginner version of this would be a modified plank on your knees. And so I'm going to put my elbows right below my shoulders. I'm going to brace my core and lift my pelvis up off of the floor so that I'm on my knees and on my elbows. Now, typically I'd recommend you hold that for 30 seconds and repeat it 3 times. If that's too easy for you, let's move into the intermediate version, which would be a low plank or a full plank. And so now I'm on my toes and on my elbows, but the same parameters apply. I'm bracing that core. The other thing I want you to try to do with this, keep your back flat. Don't let your back arch, but then keep your back nice and flat. Then the other thing that you can do is actually draw your belly button up and in towards your spine. So engage that deepest core layer. Try to actually pull your belly button in towards your spine while you're holding this plank position. Now, same parameters apply. As soon as people can hold this for 30 to 60 seconds 3 times, that's when I kick on the next progression. The advanced version would be a plank with a hip tap. And so now what I want you to do is nice and slow, rock your left hip down towards the floor, pull it back to neutral, and then do the same thing with that right hip. And so slow and in control, we've changed that static hold into a little bit more of a dynamic exercise. Kicks on a little bit more of the muscles, adds a little bit of rotation to it, just makes the exercise a little more effective. And again, that's your more advanced version. When I'm giving this one in the clinic, I typically recommend 3 sets of 10 touches to each side while we're doing those planks. Okay, moving on to the lateral core, the progression that I like for that is going to be a side plank progression. So I'm going to lay down on my left side, so I'm on my left elbow and I'm on my left knee. Now, in this position, again, I'm just going to pop up into what would be a modified plank position. I'm using my core muscles to lift my pelvis up off of the floor. I'm on the outside of my left knee and on my left elbow. This would be the modified plank position. And once again, 20 to 30 seconds 3 times. If you can do that, that's a good indication to move on to the next level, which would be a full side plank. And so again, on the outside of my left elbow, but now I'm just going to kick my left leg out straight. Pop up into this position, and so now I'm on the outside of my left foot. Both of my legs are straight. I'm going for a straight line, basically nose, belly button, between my knees, between my feet. All should be in this nice straight line. Hold that for 30 seconds, and if you can do that 3 times, that's going to be an indication that you're ready for the next level, which would, again, we're going to take that static hold, we're going to make it dynamic by adding a hip dip to this side plank. So get up into that full side plank position. Now what I want you to do is slowly lower your bottom hip down towards the ground, and then use those lateral core muscles to pull your hips up towards the ceiling. So down towards the ground, engage the core, pull up towards the ceiling, nice and slow, nice and in control. And typically what I recommend here is 10 hip dips on the left, 10 hip dips on the right, and then we're gonna repeat that 3 times. Okay, let's move on to the posterior wall, or for the back, the lower back. The exercises that I love for that, we're gonna start with one that again is a static hold, and this would be a bird dog exercise. And so you're going to get down on all 4s. Knees are below the hips, hands are below the shoulders. Engage your core, and so it's a great opportunity to engage that deep core, pull your belly button in towards your spine. And now as your right arm reaches straight forward, your left leg is going to kick straight back. Hold 1, 2, and then return to the starting position, and then we're going to repeat that over here on the other side. This is one of my favorite exercises. I give this one regularly to patients with lower back pain. This is a really great exercise that we can fire those muscles, strengthen that area without a lot of movement going on. And so on that, typically 10 reaches on each side, repeated 3 times is a great number to shoot for. If you can do that, if you feel like you're ready for the next level, the intermediate version would be we call it a swimmer exercise, a Pilates move, a Pilates swimmer. You're gonna lay down on your stomach with both arms extended out over your head. Now in this position, I'm going to engage my core. I'm going to lift my right arm up off of the floor, and I'm going to lift my left leg up off of the floor. So I want your right elbow off the floor, and I want your left knee up off of the floor. That's a good way to think about this one. And so engage that core, lift and hold 1, 2, 3, and then return back down to that starting position, and then we're gonna alternate that with the other side. You're really gonna feel those muscles in your upper back and your lower back working with this one. It's a great exercise to engage both of those areas. And about 10 swims, I guess, 10 reps on each side, but then we're gonna repeat that one 3 times. And then finally, the more advanced version of this for the lower back and for the posterior core muscles be a full Superman extension, laying on your stomach with both arms overhead. Now in this position, engage your lower back to lift your chest up off of the ground, and then I want both knees up off of the ground as well. And so it gets into this position and then return right back down to the start. Again, a little bit more aggressive, but if you can tolerate it, that's a great way to really strengthen that posterior core. And on this, sets of 10 repeated 3 times. So about 3 sets of 10 is what I typically recommend. Okay, let's get into that bonus exercise. So again, we address the front, we address the sides, and we address the back. But if we don't build that on a sure foundation, on a strong foundation, it's not going to be as impactful as it otherwise would be. Now to do that, we're addressing glutes. The glutes love to work with the lower back muscles to extend your spine. It's a great therapeutic exercise to really help eliminate back pain down there as well. And so a bridge progression is what I recommend for that. And so you're going to lay down on your back with both of your knees bent. The beginner version of this would be to engage your glutes, so squeeze your butt, and then lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Hold 1, 2, and then return right back down. Most people can tolerate this. Usually sets of about 15 to 20, repeated 3 times is what I recommend. Really trying to squeeze and engage those glutes while you're doing it. The intermediate version would be a bridge with a march. And so same thing, I'm going to engage the glutes, lift the hips. Now hold this position nice and stable as I lift my left leg off of the ground, or my left foot up off of the ground, and then my right foot up off of the ground, and then return back to the starting position. So that was 1 rep. I'm going to lift, I'm going to march left, I'm going to march right, and then I'm going to return back down. And again, 15 to 20 reps repeated 3 times is a great intermediate number. If you need something even more advanced, if you're looking for more aggressive strengthening to that glute, a single leg bridge is a great option for that. So now what I'm going to do is extend one leg out. So I've extended my left leg out, my right leg's down. I'm going to engage that right glute to lift my hips up towards the ceiling, hold 1, 2, and then return right back down from there. And so we've basically taken the work that was done by 2 legs with the bridges, and so now we're just performing it with 1. And so this is a great exercise to really target and isolate those glutes and increase that glute strength. What I recommend here is 10 reps on the right, 10 reps on the left, and then you would repeat that 3 times. Now, if you want a follow-along workout for your core, I've got you taken care of. Check out this video right here. If you haven't subscribed to Tone and Tighten yet, hit the circle here to do that. I'd love to see you back for future videos. Hope this helps. Hope to see you again soon.